Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to the Bachelor latest news. From the beginning of the Bachelor season 29, Grant Ellis seemed to have no idea what he wanted. Some of his earlier favorites got sent home early, while women he seemed to barely notice stayed until the end. It wasn't surprising that the 31-year-old day trader told of the two final women he loved them. Though he wasn't the first Bachelor to profess love to multiple contestants, Grant took his version to a whole new level. I'll personally never forgive him for misleading 31-year-old Licia Gare. A lot of Grant's behavior during the Bachelor season 29 seemed questionable to me. He said he wanted to find his wife and start a family, but he didn't know what he was looking for in a woman. During the recent finale, Licia revealed that Grant had been telling her he intended to pick her the whole time. Grant didn't deny her accusation. He went on to stun Licia by proposing to Juliana Pasquarosa, 28. I think he shouldn't have used the word love with both women, even if he felt that way. Not only did Grant tell both women he loved them, but he went so far as to tell Licia he was going to pick her. At least, that's what she alleged during the Bachelor season 29 finale, and Grant didn't deny her claim. In fact, during the finale, Licia shared a lot more of the things Grant said to her. She revealed statements that never made it to the show, and it's not a good look for Grant. It's why I'm so mad at him for telling both women he loved them. During the Bachelor season 29 finale, Licia told host Jesse Palmer that Grant constantly reassured her she was going to get his final rose. According to Licia, early in the season, he told her he wanted to end the season early because he was so sure he had found his person in her. The night before the final rose ceremony, Licia says that she told Grant, "I can't believe we're getting engaged tomorrow," to which he responded in the affirmative. Grant didn't deny any of Licia's claims, so I'm inclined to believe her. Licia asked Grant when he changed his mind, but he insisted he didn't. He told her that he had fallen in love with her, and he had just found someone who was a better match for him. Licia told Grant she was angry with him, and I don't blame her. I can see why Licia felt misled by The Bachelor. It explains why she was so confident going into the rose ceremony. Even though he probably didn't do it on purpose, he set her up. She'll never forgive him for it, and neither will I. The Bachelor season 29 ended with Grant giving his final rose to Juliana. The couple got engaged and left the show as a couple. Though he told Juliana he loved her too, he didn't seem as emotionally connected to her as he did to Licia. He said he chose Juliana because they had more fun together, which is a valid reason. I wish he hadn't told both women that he loved them, even if he did love them both. It seemed like a selfish choice on his part. I was pretty surprised when Grant chose Juliana over Licia. Though I could tell he was attracted to Juliana, she seemed incapable of letting her walls down. Juliana was hurt in her last relationship and resisted being vulnerable with Grant. It wasn't until she visited his family during the Bachelor season 29 that she told him she loved him. For her part, Licia had never told any man that she loved him, making Grant's betrayal especially painful. Grant seemed to waffle back and forth until the last minute. The Bachelor season 29 trailer, which Bachelor Nation posted to YouTube, ends with Grant waffling during the final rose ceremony. When host Jesse Palmer asks him if he's ready to make his choice between the final two women, Grant says, "The truth is, I don't know." He ultimately chooses to give his final rose to Juliana, but the fact that Grant would be so uncertain about his choice until the end is concerning. Though Grant and Juliana seem nice, I don't have a lot of faith in their engagement. Maybe part of the reason is that I was spoiled by Joey Graziadei and Kelsey Anderson from The Bachelor season 29. Grant and Juliana's relationship doesn't seem as solid in comparison. Maybe I'm biased because I'm so mad at Grant for telling both women that he loved them, but I just don't think he had any idea what he wanted. He made questionable decisions throughout the season. Grant gave his first impression rose to 27-year-old Ellis Godin, only to forget about her almost immediately and send her home early. He seemed to admire 31-year-old Dina Lupenko, only to send her home after hometown dates. In contrast, he kept 28-year-old Zoe McGrady, who he barely noticed. He changed his mind wildly throughout The Bachelor season 29, so I'm hard-pressed to see him and Juliana living happily ever after. The Bachelor season 29 ended with Grant Ellis proposing to Juliana Pasquarosa, but the moment was ruined for viewers because they just watched him dump Licia Gare, so the show must air the breakup and engagement on 2 different nights in order to make the love story more believable. Grant, a now 31-year-old day trader from Newark, New Jersey, chose Juliana, a 28-year-old client service associate from Newton, Massachusetts, and Licia, a 31-year-old venture capitalist from Salt Lake City, Utah, as his final 2 women. Throughout The Bachelor season 29 finale and even before it, Grant was so torn between Juliana and Licia. During the fantasy suites, he told Juliana that he was falling in love with her, but he told Licia, "I love you." He even questioned if he should end the show early and choose Licia, but he then decided to continue to pursue his connection with Juliana as well. During the finale, Licia was shocked when Grant broke up with her, and she accused him of misleading her. Then the show aired him proposing to Juliana. This roller coaster of emotions ruined the finale, so The Bachelor should make a change. When Grant finally made up his mind at the end of The Bachelor season 29, he had to break up with Licia before he could propose to Juliana. Because she was sent to him first, viewers knew that he was about to end things with her, but she thought they were about to get engaged. After Licia made a heartfelt speech, Grant broke up with her, and she was shocked and confused. Her entire demeanor changed as she asked him why, just the night before. When she said that she couldn't wait to get engaged, he'd agreed and repeatedly told her that he loved her. Licia felt that Grant had led her on with his reassurances, and it appeared that way to the viewers as well, many of whom were convinced that he was going to choose her because of the way he'd acted towards her all season long. He even told her, "I love you," before she said it to him. It was a brutal breakup that blindsided Licia and the audience, and made it hard to then shift to being happy about him getting engaged to Juliana. Because Grant was so indecisive, he really began to seem like a villain who was leading the women on. By falling in love with both Juliana and Licia and letting them know, he put himself in a terrible position. He really seemed especially unhinged when he picked out an engagement ring, but he said that he didn't know which woman he'd give it to. Grant's confusion about choosing between Juliana and Licia made him look like the bad guy who was inevitably going to break someone's heart. It was challenging to root for Grant to get engaged when he seemed so completely unready to do so. If all of this indecision had aired on a different night, it would have given the audience a chance to process it and forget about it, which might have made it easier to accept when he finally did choose Juliana. Instead, Grant broke Licia's heart and seemed to get engaged to Juliana when he told another woman that he loved her just the night before. Grant didn't seem ready to get down on one knee at all. As Grant himself said, it wasn't normal for him to be going into an engagement still trying to figure out who his person was. After watching Licia and Grant's breakup, and how he really didn't seem to think that he'd missiled her, it was difficult to be happy about his engagement to Juliana. Viewers saw most of what Licia was questioning Grant about, and it was hard to believe that he didn't choose her. However, instead of having time to digest all of this, the audience had to immediately shift from watching Grant break Lishia's heart to proposing to Juliana. It was hard to focus on and invest in their engagement when there was so much to process. It was hard to believe that Grant and Juliana could have a strong future relationship, especially when Lishia told him that Juliana would probably have questions for him after watching the show back. The whole time that Grant and Juliana were getting engaged, the question of whether they were still together loomed over the show, because no one knew how Juliana would react when she saw how torn Grant was so close to the proposal. In the end, she accepted it, but the moment was ruined as viewers experienced the whiplash of watching a breakup and an engagement, all within a few minutes of each other. To alleviate this problem, The Bachelor should consider airing the lead's breakup with the runner-up on a different night from the engagement. Although they happened on the same day during filming, viewers don't need to be on that emotional roller coaster. It ruins the moment as they're still reeling from the breakup, and makes the proposal harder to believe. Grant and Juliana's moment was ruined because the memory of Lishia's breakup was too fresh. Of course, not every Bachelor season ends with a harsh breakup. During Joey Graziadei's season, runner-up Daisy Kent self-eliminated because she knew that Joey was going to choose Kelsey Anderson, so she decided to make it easier for them by bowing out gracefully. She even rode with Kelsey in the same limousine to the final rose ceremony while holding hands. This was completely different from what happened with Grant and Lishia, and it didn't take away from Joey and Kelsey's engagement. In fact, Daisy's realization made it even more clear that Joey knew exactly who and what he wanted. If Grant's breakup with Lishia had aired the week or even night before his proposal to Juliana, it would have made the engagement much more believable. Instead, viewers saw a Bachelor who was portrayed as being confused all the way up until the last minute, which left them questioning why Grant was proposing when he clearly didn't seem ready. It also left people to wonder if Grant and Juliana would even still be together after the final Rose episode. However, if the breakup had aired on a different night, it would have given people the chance to process and forget about it in order to appreciate the engagement more. While airing the proposal on a separate night might ruin some of the suspense, viewers don't watch The Bachelor to see the most dramatic finale ever. Rather, they want to get swept up in a true love story. And Grant's season didn't really fully give them that. Instead, the focus was on his indecision, which only made him look bad in the end. Juliana and Grant seem very happy now, and they deserved better than having their engagement be an afterthought to conflict. The Bachelor engagement would be more believable if it happened in a standalone episode, and Grant and Juliana's love story was front and center. Juliana Pasquarosa leaned on some familiar Bachelor Nation faces, Kelsey Anderson and Daisy Kent, following her engagement to Bachelor Grant Ellis. I think they were just really insightful, especially Kelsey because she had to re-watch everything. Juliana, 28, said on the Tuesday, March 25, episode of the Bachelor Happy Hour podcast. Even though it's like months away, it still brings up questions and conversations that you have to have. Fans of Bachelor Nation will remember in the Bachelor Season 28 finale when Daisy, 26, and Kelsey, also 26, arrived at the proposal together. Daisy walked away before Joey Graziadei got down on one knee and popped the question to Kelsey. But Kelsey really reiterated the fact that it's been so long since that happened, and we've come so far that it's not really worth, harping on. Juliana, who said Grant is listed in her phone as a wolf emoji, explained. You can ask the questions and have the conversations, but it shouldn't really change your mind because we're together now. The Bachelor's Juliana says she lost her composure over Rose's comments about Grant Ellis. Before the proposal, Grant dropped the L-bomb to both Juliana and Lishia, who also said, "I love you" back to him. Licia, who appeared shocked by Grant's decision to send her home, claimed during the live portion of the episode that he said he could stop the show early since he knew she was his person. Grant apologized during the episode and said he had no regrets about telling Licia how he felt. The Bachelor host Jesse Palmer applauds Juliana and Carolina for a very mature conversation. In the aftermath of his season, Grant sought out advice from former Golden Bachelorette Joan Vassos and her fiancé, Chalk Chappell. Joan, 62, accepted a proposal from Chalk, 61, in the Season 1 finale, which aired in 2024. "They've been really instrumental for me in this process and us, and they just said, 'Be yourself and don't worry about anybody else. It's your love story and focusing on that,'" Grant recalled on Tuesday. "The people that are gonna rock with you are going to rock with you. The people that are not are not. I think that was the main advice. And I think that's something that we're taking." Grant Ellis and Lydia Gare came face-to-face for the first time after he sent her packing in the Bachelor Season 29 finale. Licia, 31, claimed during the live portion of the Monday, March 24 episode that she and Grant, also 31, discussed their future throughout the season and during their final date. "Grant and I had talked a lot about that day, and everything that he had ever said about it was that it was going to be us," she told host Jesse Palmer. "We were getting engaged from, the first one-on-one that we had in LA, until the night before that day. I remember saying goodbye to him and saying, 'Oh my gosh, we are getting engaged tomorrow.' And he said, 'I know, I can't wait. I love you. I love you. I love you.' Those were the last words that he said to me before I walked up there. So it was a shock." Licia alleged that every time she pumped the brakes on their relationship, Grant pushed the gas. She also claimed that Grant told her she was his one emotional connection, adding there's just no way to misinterpret that. She added that Grant had previously told her that he could stop the show early since he knew she was the one. Grant Ellis' Bachelor exes react to him being torn between the final two. "It would definitely be hard to hear." In the season finale of the ABC series, Grant admitted he was torn between Licia and Juliana Pasquarosa after telling both of them he loved them. While Licia told Grant, "Pick me," he appeared to have reservations about the pair not being on the same page when it comes to their timeline for having children, and ultimately sent her home. "This is hard for me. Licia, I love you very much. I want to give you everything that you deserve. But I'm not your person. And I'm sorry that it got to this point. My emotional connection is stronger somewhere else," he said, to which she replied, "When did it change?" "It didn't change. I do love you. I don't want you to feel like I haven't been open or honest. I hope you don't look at me differently," he said, as Licia responded, "Well, I do for sure." Licia said she would have a lot of questions if she were Juliana based on what Grant had said. While the twosome walked to her car, Grant asked Licia if he had been misleading her. "The switch-up is crazy," she said. "I'm disappointed. I just want to be so clear that I'm confused and I'm sad. And I'm mad." When Grant joined Licia on stage at the live portion, she said he started out with great intentions and noted that she doesn't think he's a bad guy. Grant, who said he needed to accept accountability for his actions, apologized to Licia for hurting her feelings, and the people who loved her. He added that he didn't regret telling Licia he loved her. This gossip is over. If you like the video, then give your opinion in the comment box and stay with us by subscribing the channel. Thank you.